living.
Well, try pandra.
Okay. Hi all. Today we are going to be talking about finances. We get a lot of questions around how do we manage our finances, how do we save, budget, and live a good life despite the rising cost of living in cities like Sydney. So, in this video, we are going to break it down for you. We are going to do things a little differently today. I am going to be asking a lot of questions, and Vaishnavi is going to be answering them for us. Out of the two, Vaishnavi is the financially savvy one, and although we make decisions together, I let her handle the finances for the most part because number one, she's really good at it, and number two, she absolutely enjoys it. So stick till the end because we've got a rapid fire round. She doesn't know it yet. I've got a bunch of questions prepared for her, and let's see how she responds. Let's dive into the video. What's the system we use to manage our money as a couple?
Okay, we put all our income into one joint account and we spend everything using our credit cards. We pay off our credit card each month. We don't have separate accounts. This system may not work for everyone, but it works for us because it keeps things simple and there's trust. The only drawback with this system is that we can't surprise each other with gifts, but we don't do gifts anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we are each other's gifts anyway. Do we follow a budget?
Currently, we don't follow a budget. We used to follow a budget when we had big things planned. For example, when we were constructing this house or when we were getting ready for wedding, we were very tight on finances. That's when we followed budget to the T. Now we are a bit more loose. I do check. So I track all our expenses using an app, as you know. So I do monitor it every once a week or twice a week. Whenever I'm bored, I'm just browsing through the app, just like I scroll through different apps. This is also one of the apps that I scroll through. For me, it's more about awareness than control at this point. But we are soon going to be budgeting again because we have some big expenses ahead of us.
How do you know if we are saving enough?
We are not. And how do I know that? As I said before, I've been tracking our expenses in the app, and I can see in some places we've been spending a bit more than we wanted to, and that's okay because we've only moved to this home recently and there's lots of new things coming up. Now that things have stabilized a bit, and as I was discussing with you the other day, I feel like we can hit a magic number that we spoke about from next month onwards. It's more about the habit of tracking and being intentional with what we are doing and not necessarily controlling anything.
Yeah. What's something small that we do that makes a big difference financially?
Okay, so we spend everything using a credit card. Once again, I go a little bit crazy with collecting points and whatnot. So every time there's like 20x booster points and things like that, we would go and buy gift cards and spend via gift cards and collect Qantas points and use those points for our travel adventures as well. So I feel like spending everything using a credit card and paying it off monthly works very well for us. But this may not work for anyone and everyone. If you don't have discipline and control over money, you can easily go overboard. You need to be very careful to just close off or pay off every month if you are using this Qantas points cards or anything like that, because the interest rate on these cards are over 20% easily. If you want to get like 1 point per dollar or something like that, it's usually about 22%, anywhere between there. So you need to be careful about it. But if you are, and if you are disciplined, and if you think you can manage all of it, credit card is such a godsend, I would say.
What do most people get wrong about money management in a very high cost of living city like Sydney?
I feel like people either don't know their numbers or are extremely restrictive, and neither of them works. It's not sustainable long term. For the people that don't know their numbers, what I have seen is they spend money eating out a lot, they buy a lot of coffees. All of these things add up very quickly. And if you're not tracking your numbers, it just gets lost. And in a city like Sydney, lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep is a real thing. If you are mindful about your expenses, you're saving for something big, or you just aren't interested in all those things, you should just say no to it. There's also that mentality like, I earned it, I deserve it kind of thing. It really depends. If you are saving for something, maybe you need to remember that even though you deserve it, you have a purpose and you're saving for that, and let's just save for that in the first place and then go out and eat once a while. Not saying don't eat at all. We do eat out a fair bit, but that's very intentional. We do it for Valentine's Day, or we do it because something good happened in our life. It's more of a celebratory event than just eating out just like that because we are bored or whatever. Yes, sometimes when we are very tired, we would go out and eat, and that makes sense to us. I think that's how you need to manage your finances. You can't be extremely restrictive. Like, even when you're tired, you can't say to yourself like, oh no, I'm going to cook at home. That would not be sustainable long term. And at the same time, you can't just eat out every single meal. That's just a lot of money. So you need to find a balance.
So, as I understand it, it's all about looking at the bigger picture, focusing on what your goal is, and trying to make a decision from that point in time.
Correct.
Do we have an emergency fund? How did we decide how much to keep?
We have started accumulating in our emergency fund. I would like for us to at least have 6 months worth of expenses. When I say expenses, it's our mortgage plus every other expenses we have in our emergency fund. We don't have that yet, but if we had dependents, or if people have like medical issues and things like that, I feel like 12 months worth of expenses in an emergency fund would make a lot more sense. It may feel like a bit too much, but I think for me to sleep peacefully at night, this number would help.
So, this is not a fixed number or a magic number. It depends on every
individual's mindset. Yes. Okay. For some people, even 10-20k could be enough. For some others, hundreds of thousands. So it really depends on their lifestyle, their expenses, the number of dependents they have, and if they have any medical issues, that too.
Why did we decide to buy a house instead of renting?
We didn't buy a house as an investment. We bought this house as for stability. We knew our families would visit, and we wanted to grow as a family as well. And both of us enjoy DIY. We wanted to create a space of our own. All that would not be possible in a rented place. So we decided we'll buy a house, and the numbers worked for us, that too. We didn't necessarily time the market or anything like that. This was more about life timing for us.
How did we know we were ready to buy?
We had good savings, good emergency fund. Both of us were in stable, permanent, full-time jobs, and we didn't have any other loans. So for us, it felt like that was a good time to see what's out there in the market and what we could buy.
How did we save for the deposit?
Okay, this is in a few phases. So before Karthik moved to Sydney in December 2021, I had already built a decent savings. Also around May 2022, I moved jobs. This was all after COVID-19. So I had decent leave accumulated. So when I moved jobs, all the leave got paid out. So that was a lump sum that also helped. And after Karthik got job around March 2022, we were only living off one of our incomes, and we were almost saving the second income. So all that just added up, and we saved for a decent deposit. But with that deposit, we were not able to buy the house itself of our choice. So we had to do it in phases. So we bought the land first. Hence, we could put a decent amount of deposit for the land. From there on, we went to construction, which was about 8 to 10 months gap. So we were able to save a bit more for the construction. And also, if you had watched our other videos, you'd know that we didn't do everything through our builder. we did a lot of things after the house was handed over. So even in that gap, we saved a bit more, and that's how we planned all of this.
People say rent is dead money. What are your thoughts on it?
I disagree. Renting is not at all a dead money. In fact, I feel like renting provides the flexibility until you choose to do until you choose what you want to do with your money. You can always continue to rent and build wealth. That's only if you invest the difference in a different market. But yes, renting provides you that flexibility to go and invest the rest of the money into whatever market you wanted to invest. If you are just going to go and splurge it into something else, then that's bad, yes. But renting plus saving aggressively or renting plus investing in a market makes total sense to build wealth.
How do you know if you can afford a home loan? Is there a magic number that people should look at?
So there are a few numbers that you can run by. One is debt to income ratio. In simple terms, if I have to explain what debt to income ratio is, let's say you are about to get 1 million loan and your household gross income is 200,000. The debt to income ratio in this case would be 5. A debt to income ratio of 3 is considered very, very good. So it means that up to 600,000 in this example, if your household income is 200,000, then 600 is 3 times 200 is 600. So debt to income ratio of 3 is considered very good. 4 to 6, it's still okay. When it goes beyond 7, I don't think banks lend that much. So there's that, and it would also be a bit too much on you, as it would be a lot of burden on you to repay that debt. So debt to income ratio, if it is less than 5, it would be really nice. That's one number that you can look at. And then there's another rule called 28-36 rule.
So before we get into this 28-36 rule, coming back to this debt to income ratio, in the debt component, are you talking only about the home loan component, or it includes every kind of debt that you have?
I think it includes any debt. So in this context, because we are talking about home loan and mortgages, I'm assuming you don't have any other debt. If you have other debts, let's say you have 100K from your car loan or your HEX or something, you need to add those things as well, like your total income and your total debt. When you divide the total debt divided by your total income, household income, that number should be less than 6. I don't think banks lend beyond 5 or 6. I could be wrong, and banks rule changes all the time. So you need to talk to experts for that. But for your own safety net, try to keep it below 5 or even 4.5. And then can I go to 28-36
Yes,
rule?
please.
Yeah. Okay. So there's another concept called 28-36 rule. It means that your total housing cost shouldn't go above 28% of gross income, and your total debt shouldn't go 36% of your gross income. Okay, let's do this with an example. Let's say your gross income is $100,000. Your total housing cost includes mortgage, rates, strata, and any other expenses that you do for house. That shouldn't exceed $28,000 in this example. Now, total debt is any other debt you have on top of your mortgage. That could be student loan, personal loan, car loan, credit card debt, anything else. Your total debt shouldn't go above 36% of your gross income. Now, if your total housing costs you about $30,000 or $32,000, according to this principle, you have only $4,000, because 36 minus 32 is 4. So only $4,000 to pay off the other debt. In a high cost of living cities like Sydney, the total housing cost can go above 30%, 32 or 33%. It can stretch a bit, but that would also mean you have to stretch your budget and finances around that. So it's ideal to keep it around 28%. This is for total housing cost, and your total debts less than 36%.
Okay, we have come to an interesting part of the video. This is the rapid fire round, and I'm going to be asking you a series of questions that I've prepared for you as well. If you have any questions here, please feel free to write in the comments and we'll make her answer the questions. The first question, do we have a 6-month emergency fund?
Barely.
Biggest waste of money last year?
Your fishing subscription, that's $80. We haven't caught one fish yet. And I was telling him we need to catch something worth more than $80. But anyway, yeah, next.
I think I fell right into that. What's something we haven't bought yet on purpose?
A dog.
What's our most underrated money habit?
Saying no to lifestyle upgrades. No cleaners, no lawn mowing service, no nothing.
Who's the spender and who's the saver?
We know you're the spender and I save whatever is left.
Something you'll never feel guilty spending on.
Food. Oh, good quality food.
Would you rather $10,000 or 10 free hours a week forever?
For now, $10,000. But if I had made it in my life, definitely 10 free hours every week.
What does a rich life look like to you?
Quiet mornings, a strong coffee, and the freedom to do whatever I want.
Final question. What is your biggest asset?
This is not rapid fire, right?
You can expand on this.
Okay. My biggest asset is health and time. Health, because I think if you don't have good health, you can't enjoy anything. No matter how much money you have, if you don't have good health, you can't enjoy it. And when I say health, I'm talking about physical health, mental health, and financial health. The financial health we spoke about earlier, but physical health and mental health also takes significance in life. And time, we do all of this only to trade time, isn't it? Time is wealth, in my opinion.
Well, I was actually thinking that your answer would be me. I am your biggest asset, but
You'll take it, right? Whatever I said.
I'll take this. That's the end of rapid fire round. Do you have anything to share?
I feel like a lot of us just want to make a lot of money, but they don't have a vision or a North Star goal in mind. You want to make a lot of money. Fine, what is that number? What is lot of money according to you? Once you've made all that money, what are you going to use it for? From what I can see and from what I've spoken to a lot of people, they just want to make a lot of money without any thought behind it. So I would urge people to think about what they really want in life and how is that money going to help them. It could be taking vacations or putting your kid in like a private school. It could be anything, like what are you saving or what are you going to do with all that money. So take some time, think about what you want out of life. It could be you want to travel a lot, you want to eat good food, or you want to send your kid to private school. It could be anything, but have that vision and work towards it. When you have a purpose, it adds a lot more meaning and the journey feels so much better.
With that said, we hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.